All right. I got a lot that I want to talk about. It's been 3 years since I started this channel. 3 years ago to the day, I uploaded my video about Glass Onion because it had just come out. My father-in-law heard me talking about it on Christmas, and he was like, why don't you start a movie channel? Like, you love video and audio for podcasting and other niches. Why not start a movie YouTube channel? And like, I had never really put that together before that I should do that. Like, it's weird because I've had blogs and websites that I've tried talking about movies. I love movies. I've got movie posters and, only a couple, like several hundred Blu-rays over there. Like, I love movies a lot and I like talking on the internet. So like, I should have put those together, but until he said that, I hadn't really thought of it. But then I went home on Christmas night, and after everyone went to bed, I went downstairs and I recorded my review for Glass Onion and uploaded it the next day. And I would like to say the rest is history and we've had a lot of success, but that hasn't necessarily been the case. The first year was pretty good. Got about 1,000 subscribers that first year. That was my goal. It's not just about numbers. This is a hobby, sharing my passion for movies, but I put these videos on the internet for people to watch like anyone else. And so I want people to watch and subscribe and hit the like button and all that kind of stuff. But the first year was good. Doing movie reviews and trailer reactions like pretty much everyone else. And then the second year, I tried to maybe do too much. I tried live streaming a lot. I had an idea of like, okay, well, trending topics. I love talking about movie news. I'm always paying attention to what's going on. So why not do, some live streaming? I tried it every day for about a month of doing live streams, like a legit show. I thought it was actually pretty good. Like, the quality of it was okay for just a guy in his basement doing it. But it was a lot, obviously bit off way more than I could chew. That didn't last. And then after, I tried just doing videos of movie news. It didn't really work. So I was like, okay, what else can I try? Well, I love 2000s movies. I'll start a podcast about 2000s movies called Dean in Real Life. And to be honest, I kind of regret stopping that, but I stopped it for a reason. Like, I went and I think I did like 11 episodes, maybe 12 episodes, and it was a lot. When you're one guy talking to the camera and you can't get rid of awkward pauses and cut to someone else, and you don't have anyone to bounce off of, and you're doing all the research and all that kind of stuff, and you're trying to do it in a way that's like helpful for people, so it's not just like you just being like, I really like this movie because I really like this movie. Like, that doesn't really work for a podcast, and I was really trying. So it was a lot of work, and so I was like, no. And again, if views had been crazy for any of these things that I was trying, I would have kept with it. But it wasn't. And so I was like, okay, what can I do? Well, I can do video essays. And so I did some of those. And some of them really took off. One in particular, which still is like, makes me so happy, that the one that I did about Josie and the Pussycats, a movie that I love and have literally never heard anyone else talk about. I did a video essay about that, and that got 30,000 views or something like that. Still my biggest video on this channel. But again, it's about like this being a hobby, and sometimes like you make stuff and you invest a lot of time in it and you don't get very much payoff. I had, that one got 30,000 views, and like my Fantastic Four one got quite a few. One about Push did really well, but there were plenty of other video essays that did not do very well at all. And I put the same amount of work and effort into those ones. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to keep doing this if I'm not going to be able to, kind of replicate that success. And so I was like, all right, I don't know what I'm going to do. And for about 6 months here on this channel, I didn't. I was just kind of making random videos if I made videos. And then this last year happened. And this last year, at least on this channel, has kind of been like a crazy ride. I guess part of this video is to apologize to anyone who's actually paying attention to this channel, because I've gone through highs and lows on this channel as far as making content. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. Actually, last Christmas we were in the hospital with my oldest. He found out he had diabetes, and so we spent a week in the hospital, and it was horrific. And so like that kind of put me into this year 2025 in quite the funk of trying to, like, one, nothing seemed to be working, but also just like I didn't really have the bandwidth to be making like legit content. And so I just kind of made random things for a while, until I really focused on reactions. I tried some early on in the year and had a lot of fun with it. And then this summer, I just had the realization, like, why not? I like watching movies. I want to talk about movies, but at least at the time I was thinking, like, I don't really have the time and the bandwidth to be able to put together these video essays. So let's make some easy content, still talking about movies and stuff that people wanted to see, with reactions. And I got to be honest, I had a blast. Like, I wasn't faking any of those videos, like watching Weapons and Naked Gun and The Long Walk, especially. Like, I had so much fun making those videos. But I mean, even the most successful of those, The Long Walk, still only got about 7,500 views. And that's okay. But when you do that and you put like the time and effort, because I'm one guy, I'm not sending this off to anyone, unlike some other content creators, I guess. It seems like everybody does that for their thumbnails and for their editing. But I'm a one man band here. So I'm doing all the editing. I'm trying to get around the copyright stuff. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, which is a problem. There are plenty of reactions that I've actually shot that you will never see because of copyright stuff that I tried to get around, but just couldn't find a way around it. So they're just, on a hard drive that no one will ever watch, which sucks. But also there are plenty of videos that I did, and no one seemed to really care about it, or at least the algorithm kind of told me that people didn't really seem to enjoy them. And so I was like, well, like, that's a lot of effort too. And then I started watching some other reactors to kind of get some ideas about, what people were doing, length of reactions and stuff like that. And then there was one day, like just like last week, I was watching a reactor, a very popular channel, and they kept on, I need to put my hat up, they kept on doing this as they were watching the video. And like, I was like, is there a Twitch? Like, what's going on? And then I realized that person was just like faking interest in the movie. And I was like, I really hope no one thinks I do that. Like, that's like embarrassing and dumb. And I was just like, I had that realization of like, I'm not saying like every reactor is like that, but I really don't want to come off that way. I want to add something to the niche of movies. I want to share my passion about movies and do it in a way that's like maybe even helpful, maybe giving a perspective that no one's heard, or at least hasn't heard lately, or thinking through something that maybe people haven't thought through with a movie. And you can't really do that with reactions, or at least I can't. Maybe other people can balance that of analysis with, just entertainment and having fun. I definitely have had fun watching these movies, but the analysis stuff, you watch a movie and then like very quickly, because you're, recording everything, you give like your 2 to 3 minute analysis of it right after, because you got stuff going on. You only have so much time to record. And then that probably like 8% of the people who started the video will watch that. Like that sucks. So I was thinking about all these different things and thinking about, the last 3 years. And I guess what I'm trying to say with this video is things are going to change. And I'm sorry for the people who've, gone through the highs and lows with me, name changes for the channel. It's going to happen again. It just is. This is a hobby. And part of the hobby is one, yes, of course, sharing my passion for movies and talking about movies with people who love movies, building that community of movie lovers. Absolutely. That's the main thing. But also, part of like the fun of YouTube for me is the marketing angle of it. It's the titles and the thumbnails and the whole, like, it's basically gambling for people who don't want to lose money, or at least lose money outright to like a casino or, I don't know, DraftKings. It seems like sports gambling is everywhere and it's pretty gross to me. But this is basically that for me. This is my version of it, of, putting effort into a video and throwing it onto YouTube and see if anyone watches and see if people care. That's kind of fun. It's kind of thrilling. It's the thrill of the hunt, I guess, at least for me. And it scratches that marketing itch for me. So I like doing that. And this year I'm going to try some more things. And part of that is probably like what it's going to end up being is probably video essays, different kinds of video essays, talking about old movies, new movies. I've been really thinking about that, about how I want to be a part of the conversation about new movies and do it in a way that is, grabbing attention like everyone else, but not in a way that's clickbaity and in a way that I think is like maybe productive. So I've been thinking through some things, trying to think of like how I can add something to this niche of movies. Not that I'm anyone special. I'm just another guy, just like you, just another movie lover. But, I have a camera, I have a microphone. Might as well talk about movies, right? So that's the plan. Now, again, that might, there might be a name change for this channel coming up. I'm not sure what that is yet. I'm kind of just starting to think through that. My goal is to try to spend about like 2 weeks really thinking through like what I want to make, what I want to be doing here, and then just stick with it for the year. And so, yeah, so you won't be seeing any more reactions from me, at least right now. That could change. I might miss it and go back to it. But for right now, I'm really just trying to focus on just putting my effort and time for this hobby into video essays, but video essays that I hope will feel different from other people's. But yeah. So thanks for sticking with me for the last 3 years, if you've been around, or for however long you've been around. I appreciate every subscriber. I appreciate every like. And, here's to 2026. It should be fun, right? We have the Odyssey to look forward to, so at least there's that. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.